Hey, John Hickok here. Just got back from one of the greatest weeks of my life probably. I got to see Metallica in concert twice, and it was my first time seeing them. And I also played a zombie in a movie. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. It's about as metal of a week, I think, that you could possibly have. I don't know. But at least for me, in my life. So it was great. I mean, we were in Michigan for most of the week last week. Saw Metallica in Atlanta right before we went out there, and I was planning on seeing them in Atlanta because I kind of looked at their tour schedule and found out that, that was probably like the best place to go see them. They weren't stopping in Nashville this time, so I went down there and saw them. The movie schedule sort of got moved around a bunch, and it kind of ended up working out to where it was like right after seeing them in Atlanta. And so next morning, I wake up early after seeing Metallica, ears still ringing and everything, and we drive up to Michigan. We go on location, we do a movie, and then I find out that Metallica is in fact going to be in Detroit. Well, I actually found out on the way up there. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. They happened to be playing the next, like literally the next show they were playing was in the next place I was also going. So, of course, I had to go. Went down there, I think it was last Wednesday night, and had even better seats, which surprisingly, because I bought my tickets a lot later than I did in Atlanta. And I was like right in front of the stage. I mean, like Rob, the bass player, like nodded at me at one point, and James Hetfield was like looking my direction, during a few of the songs, and it sounds kind of silly, I guess, to say, but it kind of meant something to me because I've always kind of liked those guys for a long time and idolized them to a certain extent. And it was a great experience to be there and see the music, in person and, coming alive before me and everything. I mean, it was just amazing. And getting to play a zombie in a movie, it doesn't get much better than that. So anyways, I said all that to say I had a great week last week, and I'll be talking more about that, in other videos and showing you some stuff that I filmed while I was up there. But what I'm here to do today is I wanted to give you guys a tour of my studio. It's kind of been long overdue. Been gradually setting this thing up for over a year, and finally got it it's pretty much done. There's always more things I can do, but I just kind of want to take you guys around and show it to you. So we'll start over here with the, let me get this thing flipped around here so I can see what I'm showing you. Start with the dartboard. Got a little dartboard action there. It's always fun to have around if you got a place for it. Which you might be thinking, now why is it so low? Well, I've got stairs here. And when I'm standing right here and I've got a little marker so I know how far away I'm supposed to be based on regulations, we do everything according to regulation in this room, of course. I know where to throw it, so it's like perfect, it's perfect level and everything. So anyways, I've got, up there is my 100 subscriber award up there in the top left, and then my Red Dawn poster, the original Red Dawn, the only real Red Dawn movie, of course. And then Dimebag Darrell, one of the people other than James Hetfield from Metallica. He's one of the people that inspires me. Just an amazing dude, incredibly talented, hardworking and everything. Okay, and then here's a thing that I've been meaning to put up. It's something that a viewer made like a long time ago that's just kind of sitting out in the barn at the compound, and I saw it one day. I was like, I'll bring it up to the studio and put it up somewhere. Pretty cool little thing. But anyways, this is the guest chair. It's where you'll see Derek sitting on a lot of the podcasts and stuff. And I've got these, I forget what these are called, but these are really good microphones. They're a dynamic microphone. Got the Joe Rogan sticker on there. Another person that kind of inspires me. I like him a lot. He's a good dude. This is camo netting. Kind of adds to the effect. It's pretty cool. I actually had a hard time finding this because I really wanted to get something that sort of looks World War II-ish. And this is the kind of the closest thing I could find. A lot of it looks like the camo netting that I have over here, which is still pretty cool. I like that too, actually. But I like having the World War II looking one. Got some World War II stuff over here. Got the 1911 holster. Now that helmet, I think the actual helmet itself is real, but all the paint and insignias on it and stuff is reproduction. So got the little the captain insignia, I guess it's called, and I think that means Second Ranger. Never in the military, so I don't know all that stuff, but it's basically a replica of Captain Miller's helmet from Saving Private Ryan, the character that Tom Hanks played. So it's pretty cool. Whoever did it did a pretty good job on it. Of course, if that was a real helmet, God, that thing would be worth, about $10,000 or something. but I got it for like, you know, $100 on eBay. And got some box of video games back there. And that's a World War II bag. I think it's a radio operator's bag or something like that. I've had that for a long time, since I was a little kid. And I used to carry around, you know, magazines and, you know, gun magazines, all kinds of different things in there. Really cool little bag. Got a couple of old video game systems. We got the Super Nintendo, the N64, and the GameCube. Every now and then I'll pop one of these things on and play in this old 1985 or 6 TV that I got from my grandmother, actually. It used to be in her house. I used to play N64 on it when I was a kid. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to take it and bring it up here. I mean, she was going to throw it away or something. And yeah, it still works. You know, it's kind of neat sometimes to you know, have experiences that are sort of lost, you know what I mean? When you're playing a N64 on a TV like that, you know, I mean, it was such a big part of life for a lot of people, and, you know, me when I was a little kid, everything. It's neat to be able to still do that, you know. It's old TV, it makes old TV sounds. Like, check this out. I mean, just listen to this thing when it comes on, you know. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just cool. It brings back good memories. So I like having that up here. Plus, it kind of looks neat in here. Got the old terrorist cards. I ran across those the other day. An old NBA game ball, basketball. Got some very realistic dummy World War II grenades. This is that guitar that we shot up in that video with the MP5. If you guys have seen that or not, but that was pretty fun. Just kind of put it out here on display. Got some 50 BMG ammo, and those aren't props. That is real. Definitely real ammo right there. Of course, you know, I have the Barrett now, so thought I'd buy some belted ammo, even though obviously you can't, that'd be cool. Somebody needs to make that, but you can't shoot a, you can't exactly shoot belted ammo in a Barrett, but I don't know. I thought it would kind of look cool up here, and, you know, I can always pull it out of the links and shoot in the Barrett if I run out of ammo or something, you know. And this is my fancy chair. This is where I sit. I got that off of Craigslist. Thought that was kind of cool. And my sandbags, not real sand, but I had to put something lighter in there. I've actually got cedar mulch in there so that it would be light enough to where I could stack up here, because I'm actually upstairs. This is not like a basement or anything. And if I put like real sand in those sandbags, like, it'd be like a cartoon, I'm pretty sure. It would just fall right through the floor. And here's some of my guitars over here. Of course, this microphone, this is a Rode NT1, yeah, just Rode NT1 is what it's called. I like using the condenser mic. I think it works well with my voice. Not that anything does necessarily. This is an Explorer, Gibson Explorer. It's a special run that they did in 2016. Yeah, it was 2016. I like it because it's kind of like the 1984 Explorer that James Hetfield used. If you watch some of the old Metallica videos, you'll see James Hetfield playing this old 1984 white Gibson Explorer that they only made in 1984. I think they did a reissue in like 2004 or something, but they're really expensive and really hard to find. But I ran across this, and it's basically kind of the same thing. The plug-in's in a different location. I think the knobs might be slightly different, but it's like a natural wood version of it, and I was like, I gotta have it, you know, because it kind of reminds me of the James Hetfield Explorer from the early days, but yet it's kind of its own thing at the same time, you know, so I had to get that. And this is the one I keep detuned. It's tuned down a whole step from standard, and then I have another one. This was actually the first one that I bought, and I bought this one second because I got a much better price on it. And this one I keep tuned in standard. I think the wood's a little nicer on this one maybe, but this is the first one I got. Same exact guitar. And then this is my most recent acquisition. Now this one is really special. This is, I don't know if so, for those of you who are Pantera fans, you're going to be familiar with a guitar that is called the Dean from Hell. And I'll try to give you the short and dirty version of the story. So, Dimebag Darrell, a guitarist from Pantera, you know, he started playing when he was like 13 or something. And Dean, I think they started making these things around 1977 or something like that. and Dimebag wanted one, and he like begged his parents for one, and his dad finally bought him one. I don't think he knew about it yet, but on the day that his dad was going to give it to him, he won a guitar contest where he won basically this guitar in a different color. It was a Dean ML Flame 1981 model, and that's exactly what this guitar is. He won that guitar. So then he had, and his dad gave him the other guitar when he got home or something like that. So he had two of them. He had a standard and he had a Flame model, which the Flame model is a little bit lower end than the standard, but it still plays just as good. And actually Dimebag preferred the Flame model, you know, as he of course got older and bought more of these things. So anyways, the one that he won in the contest, he needed a car, so he sold it so he could buy a car. He didn't want to sell the one that his dad gave him, which makes sense. I mean, I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing. It's, you know, it's more special. He actually liked the Flame one better, but since his dad gave him the other one, you know, he kept that one. So he sold it to somebody, bought a car. Long story short, this guy named Buddy Blaze ended up with the guitar, and he did a bunch of custom stuff to it. He put a Floyd Rose bridge in there, which is a bridge, if you don't know, that allows you to use a whammy bar and stuff. Really nice bridge for that. And painted it up with like a lightning bolt. It's like kind of blue with a lightning bolt and stuff on it. And did some, you know, put different pickups in it, I think. Did some work to the neck, a few different things like that. And Dimebag, like, I think was friends with him and saw the guitar and loved it, not knowing it was his guitar. And he kept begging him, like, hey man, can you make me a guitar like this? And he was like, yeah, sure, you know, I'll do it. And then he eventually, Buddy Blaze gave him the guitar and was pretty much like, hey, this was your guitar anyways, you just have this, you know. And it's the guitar that, if you watch old Pantera videos, you see the one with the flames on it, the lightning bolt, I mean, you know, that's the guitar, that's the Dean from Hell. And he wrote up here, by where the Dean logo is, like right there, it says, the Dean from Hell. And it's just an iconic guitar in metal history. But anyways, long story short, that's probably really boring if you're not a Pantera fan. This guitar is a 1981 Dean ML Flame, exactly like the Dean from Hell, because that's what it was. Exactly like it. It looked just like this guitar, except it was maroon. And the serial number is like 6 digits off from it. Like this one is, let's see, get that to focus. You can see the 81 there. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see that very well, but it's 81, you know, for the year, and then 03087. And Dimebag's guitar was an 81 also, but it was 03093. So it was like basically, what, 5 numbers off, 4 numbers away from it, whatever. I don't do math, but so it's really cool to know that that guitar was probably in the factory at the same time that the Dean from Hell was, you know. Could have easily been this guitar. So that's really special. And this guitar plays amazing. I mean, it just, I love it. So, anyways, that's a long story. Sorry about that. This is my Jcm800 Amp Head tube, of course. Yeah, that thing just sounds great. I need to get a different cab for it. This is kind of the low-end Marshall cab. It came with a another head that I bought, which you'll see in a minute, that was much lower end, and I had a chance to get a Jcm800, which is kind of a classic old school heavy metal amp head. And this one's a reissue that they did in like 2003 or something like that, and now I think they started making it again. But I got a great deal on it, and I just couldn't pass it up. You know, some guy that was in a Kiss cover band or something was trying to move it on Craigslist, so jumped on it. Sounds amazing. Sounds great. I got my They Live poster up there. Got some UFO stuff I actually got in Roswell. Got this cool looking tree thing. Sorry, those lights are kind of blasting that out. But I have to turn them on in here, otherwise it's too dark. These little LED lights. Those are great, by the way, if you do any kind of studio stuff. And this is my record setup here. Got all my records. They're not like ideally put in here. I need to get one of those things that has like different sections. Because records are really fragile. You have to take care of them in a very special way. They have to be, you want them sitting upright, and you don't want too many of them leaning against each other. You know, I've got them pretty good in here. They're not really putting a lot of pressure on each other, just by the way I've got them, but it's still not ideal. I want to eventually get it set up a little better, but Got this old Marantz Receiver. Now this was Dad's stuff. Dad bought this in 1976. And there's your JBL800 speakers. Pretty top of the line for the time, and pretty much top of the line now too. It sounds amazing. And I got this I got I don't know, I forget what the actual brand name is called. It's some German turntable. It's pretty nice. But it all sounds good. Works well. Had to replace the RCA cables in the turntable, which was a huge pain, but it made it sound a lot better. It was kind of buzzing some on me, and it kind of fixed that right up. And there's some stuff I was learning to play guitar. I used to play guitar a lot when I was in high school, and then sort of lost interest in it, and picked it up again like around, I don't know, 2010 or 11 or something like that, and then lost interest again. But here lately I've been playing a lot, trying to get back into it because it's so much fun. I love playing guitar. A couple of amps, a little Vox amp, and this is a Code 50, Code 50 Marshall, a newer amp that they have available. Pretty cool, very versatile. Doesn't sound as good as the tube amp, of course. A little bitty Marshall amp down there. There's my SG Special. That's a great playing guitar. I try to do a lot of blues kind of stuff when I'm playing that one. Of course, here is the third guest seat, which I don't use very often. It's kind of hard to do in this room, ironically, because it's bigger than my old studio. But I don't know. That's something I don't really like to have too many guests a lot of times, anyways. It gets kind of hard, talking over each other and stuff like that. So not a big deal. Right there is my gym. So there's the gym right there. A couple 15-pound weights and a 35-pound kettlebell. And how much I got on this thing? What's that? 2 10s on each side. Was that 40 pounds plus the bar, whatever that is? So that's the thing about I'm no lifting expert or anything, as you can tell by looking at me. But you don't necessarily need a whole gym in your house or anything like that. You can do a lot with just really simple stuff. And I got this little heavy ball thing. I don't do a whole lot with it, but it's kind of cool. Throw it around some. Here's my fridge with all my stickers on it. Just various stickers that I've acquired from different things. Got the big Joe Rogan sticker on there. So there's my darts right here. This is actually a foam pad for like sound dampening in a studio that Zeke gave me, and it works great for that. Here, I'll throw a dart. Alright, let's see if I can throw a dart and hold the camera. Ooh, that was bad. That was low. I'm going for the bullseye. Alright, try another one. Alright, make sure I'm behind the line here. I don't want to cheat you guys. Okay. Oh, still pretty low. Alright, try one more. This is harder than it looks. Holding the camera, throwing a dart. Alright, gotta get it up just a little bit. Oh, there we go. That was a little closer. Look at that. That's not too bad. Let's see, I can't zoom a whole lot with this lens. It basically goes from like standard to ultra widescreen, but I like it. I got my protector of the studio up here. This camo lady with the Uzi. It's pretty cool. Sorry if kids are watching. I got my stormtroopers up here. They're like the new kind from The Force Awakens. It's a pretty neat little thing. I was in some like really boring store with my wife, and they actually had something kind of cool in there. There's a lot of like decoration stuff, And but then they had like this little area of a bunch of Star Wars stuff, so I picked that up. Here's my liquor collection. Got a few good ones in there. And I don't drink a whole lot. To me, liquor is kind of like cigars, Just pour a little bit in a glass, sip on it. I'm not like a heavy drinker or anything. Got this Bowie knife I got in Monument Valley. Dad actually bought that for me. It's a beautiful knife. More UFO stuff. Some little thing I got for Christmas, like a little bottle cap dartboard thing. Yeah, I got some junk on there. And this is my couch kind of behind the command center, as I call it, which is this right here. So this is the command center where I kind of run the everything. Well, I don't necessarily. My wife actually runs it while I'm doing the podcast. And this is where I do my gaming videos and stuff like that. I am kind of a simple man when it comes to this stuff. Even though this is always kind of complicated, it's easier for me to do all this stuff live than to try to put it all together in post. I just like, trying to nail it the first time, and bam, it's ready to go out to YouTube. So that's one reason I do it this way. This is the soundboard, which I've actually had this one for a while, that I bought as a backup, and I recently just started using it because I like it a little more than the one that I was using. And this is the amp to power the headphones. Got the PS4 down there, random box of ammo, filing cabinet, keep some of my jokes in there for stand up. I don't think I've ever used that TV before, but it's there just in case. This is the where I do the switching the video stuff, the video mixer. That's a pretty cool little piece of gear right there. And the laptop, that's where I stream. It's underneath the keyboard there. The laptop is where I stream the games and the podcasts and stuff. And this is the computer screen where I edit the videos. This is where I see the monitor, where I can see what's actually going out to the stream. And this is where I can see my video options. You see I've got these cameras kind of pointed. That one's pointed at the guest love seat. And this one's pointed back at whoever's sitting here behind the command center. And that one's pointed at the main chair where I would sit for the podcast. And I got this mic that I'll use for the gaming stuff. Occasionally I'll do like, if I'm doing a podcast with somebody that's like over the phone or something like that, I'll sit back here and maybe use that mic. But it's an okay mic, but it's just a little Shure, old school Shure microphone. I mean, it's a new reproduction of it that Shure makes, but it sounds okay. But it's not as good as these other like podcast mics that I have. They're really nice. But yeah, so this is sort of the little command center, and and if like a guest brings a wife or a girlfriend or something like that, they can come and kind of hang out, chill back here on the couch while the wife is running the show and everything during the podcast. And it's kind of nice having this. Like I'll kind of lay out here sometimes and try to write jokes and different things. It's kind of nice having this couch back here. And of course the Beatles tapestry. That was something Dad had in his classroom back when he was teaching way back in the day. And the They Live, We Sleep banner, which probably makes me look even crazier than I actually am. But I just really like that movie, the movie They Live. And I don't know, I actually made that myself. I thought it was kind of cool. That was up in the old studio too. So it's kind of a neat thing. It also kind of helps with the sound dampening in here. See, that's why I've got a lot of stuff hanging on the walls, and all that kind of helps break up the sound a little bit as it bounces around this room. Because the shape of this room is not necessarily perfect for a studio or anything. So it's good to have a lot of stuff sitting around. And of course I got this closet here where I keep all the bodies and everything, Got another dime bag poster up there. And just got some random tools and microphones. There's the old audio board that I was using right there, that Allen and Heath. It's random boxes. There's a PA system in there that we've used for some of our live events. And there's that other head I was talking about. It's kind of like a really low-end Marshall tube head. Still sounds pretty good though. Random tools, tripods, and things like that. I got another room where I keep most of that kind of stuff. But this is where I try to keep stuff that I'm using more often and everything, so I've got quick access to it. But yep, that's basically the studio in a nutshell. Sorry if I bored you to death with all the details, but just kind of wanted to give you guys a really good run through of everything I have in here, because I know that if you watch the podcast, you basically just get like a few different angles of it, and you don't get a full idea for what the entire thing looks like. And of course you've probably never seen this, where this is where the sandbag wall ends. It does end eventually, all things must. And I just got this plywood up here where I sort of have it at an angle, so the sandbags are kind of leaning against it, and I've used like little push pins to kind of hold them in place. But there was like a big window behind there. I covered all that up and everything. But yeah, it's a really neat place to work and do videos and everything, and I'm lucky to have it, and trying to take it for granted. It's just a really neat opportunity that I've had to be on YouTube and make my living by putting out videos on YouTube and everything, and getting to hang out with my dad all the time. You know, it's just great. You know, however long I'm able to do it, it's been amazing. I try not to take it for granted. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and checking out the videos and tolerating my boring self and everything. But it's a lot of fun, you know. I'm just gonna keep doing it, and you know, just do it in the way that I like to do it and everything. So, anyways, hope you guys, you know, of course, appreciate anytime you guys support people that support the channel and everything, like budsgunshop.com and Federal Ammo. There's some Federal ammo right there, a bunch of it. Big old 50 BMG, and of course SDI. I think I got an SDI sticker over there. Look at that right there, bam, SDI. Check them out. And also the NRA. Encourage you to join the NRA. Support them. If you don't like what they're doing, join them, and tell them they don't like it. Tell them you want them to change. You know, they do what their members ask them to do. So it's important to get involved in the NRA if you support gun rights. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of my studio, and I will check in with you guys at another time. Appreciate it.